What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And this is your 18th mailbag, Monday mailbag, but it's also going to be your last one for a period of time. And there's a lot of different factors going into that, but and I'd like to tell you each and every one, but at the end, I think you'll agree it might be for the best for now. One of the major reasons that we're doing this is because the number of pieces of mail are dwindling each week. Less and less people are watching the series, and it's a greatly time-consuming thing to do. It takes between 4 to 6 hours every Sunday, and I tend to do it after my fiance goes to bed. I've gotten sloppy with it, and it's been difficult to do, but it's been very rewarding. We have met some amazing people, we've answered some amazing problems, and we've really helped people out. So I would continue the series regardless of only 5,000 people are watching in a week, or 50 people, because if one of those 50 people could have their lives made better, it's worth it. But as we're approaching this wedding, and I'm only 5 weeks away from my wedding now, my fiance is needing a little more of my time, a little more of my emotional and spiritual support. And this not only is the most time-consuming thing that I do, but it's also the most emotionally draining thing that I do during the week. I need for the next 5 weeks, as we work on guest lists and seating arrangements and the registry and all that stuff, I need to keep YouTube light and fun and easy to do. And as much good as this has done me in answering these letters, each Monday and Tuesday, I've had my anxiety triggered. I just want to be there for her. And I know that this is the best for her. I know it's the best for us. I know it's the best for the wedding. And I promise you that mailbox is still going to get checked every week. We're still going to read everything that comes. Hopefully, I'll be able to answer some of those questions in rambling videos. I promise you, I'm not giving up on you. And you'll always have a way to reach me. And I promise you that when we get settled back in after the wedding, I'm going to reach right back out to you, and I'm going to tweet out that email or that P.O. Box address, and I'm going to ask you to start sending mail just as rapidly as you have over the past 18 weeks, 4.5 months. But until then, I need to be there for her, and I know that you'll understand. But for tonight, at least, we got a lot of mail to get through, so let's get started. And of course, the very first thing that I open this week is the most generous gift I have received, maybe the most generous gift I've received, from Ron and Liz and Mr. Milo the Pug. A wonderful group, but such a bitches, you Ron especially, has sent me a box of magic cards, and you're never going to believe. This is a box of Future Sight, which is one of the hardest boxes of magic cards to come across because it's the home of a card called Tarmogoyf. If you don't... Speechless. When do you ever find me speechless? Ron and Liz and Milo, I cannot thank you enough for this generous gift. This is what we'll be doing at my bachelor party. We're not going to do strippers. We're not going to do anything like that. We're going to draft us some Future Sight. And it's going to be awesome. And I'm going to owe the thank you to you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Wow. Darren, who's a songwriter, wrote me to say I was only introduced to your videos recently. However, your fat-shaming video has a profound effect on me. I, too, have struggled with living an unhealthy lifestyle with weight and depression. Also, like you, I want to make a change and impact to the world in a positive way. Along with food, I found music and songwriting to be my outlet when I'm feeling depressed, lonely, happy, angry, and everything in between when things can't get any better or any worse. And he was so kind as to send me a CD of his work. I have always found that when I'm feeling depressed or anxious or anything else, I tend to want to be very self-destructive. I want to overeat. I want to tell everybody in my life to go fuck themselves. I want to rage. I want to break stuff. I want to be Francis in real life. But the reality of it is, the cure to those feelings is to be creative. And I'm glad that you found your creative outlet, and I'm glad that YouTube has served as mine. I hope anybody out there that's watching who deals with those kinds of emotions can find a creative outlet too. And maybe you're not a writer, maybe you're not a songwriter, maybe you're not an artist, maybe you don't make videos, but even if you grab a piece of clay and just pound it into a shape that you like, then you're making progress. That is creation. And I promise you, you'll feel so much better for it. Gunnar was in an accident with his golf team, and that accident left him with a broken collarbone, two broken vertebrae, broken ribs, facial lacerations, and a concussion. The rest of his teammates were also left injured, and his coach, unfortunately, didn't live through the accident. Gunnar is experiencing what we call survivor's guilt, and he's wondering if I have any advice on how to move forward. And the truth of the matter is, it's going to be difficult for you to do that, but there is something that I can do to help. You've been given a second chance, and it sucks that your coach is gone, but he was probably worth remembering. And as long as you keep him alive here, and keep him alive here, he's never truly gone. Do good things with your life. You've been given a second chance, maybe for a reason, and you need to make sure that you do two things. Number one, excel. Do your best, and maybe you'll never make $1 million. Maybe you'll never become famous. Maybe you won't be a doctor. Who knows what your goals are or where you'll end up? But at all opportunities, do your best, and not only do well, but do good. Do good things. Make your life worth living. Make sure that the impact you have on the universe around you is a positive one. Stay strong, do your best, and be good. It'll all come naturally after that. Antonio from Pennsylvania wrote me to say that high school was so tough for him and he had so much trouble relating to other people that he ended up dropping out. He says he wants to get his GED, and he'd love to know if I'd make a video eventually about high school and the trouble I went through there, and I absolutely will. I promise you that I will. In fact, I wonder why I haven't done it yet. But in the meantime, before I get to make that video, I want to give you a little bit of advice. Get that GED. Don't treat dropping out of high school like the end of your life. Treat it like the beginning. This is now an opportunity for you to get that GED, study hard to make sure you ace it, maybe continue your education somewhere else, or begin working. And I hate to quote Ashton Kutcher of all people, but he recently said that opportunity looks a lot like hard work. Well, you've got a lot of hard work here ahead of you, and I hope you make the best of it. By the way, there are a lot of high school dropouts who are rich and famous, or at least happy family men. Become one of those people, Antonio. Promise me you will. In a much more uplifting video, I got a letter from Daniel from California. It says, I would just like to say you are my hero. I watch your videos all the time, and you've inspired me to give life a more positive outlook. It's really helped me in so many ways, such as my attitude, how to deal with stress, personal relationships, and my weight loss. Boogie, I love you, and from the bottom of my heart, I'd love to thank you. Keep up the good work, you son of a bitch. P.S. What's your favorite Pokemon? I bet you know the answer to this one, and you're going to feel silly. It's got to be Pikachu, right? Actually, don't tell anybody this, but it's Snorlax. There's a fat joke in there somewhere. I got this surprisingly unsigned letter, but they asked about EverQuest Next, and I'll tell you, I am looking forward to that game. Unlike a lot of my friends are excited about the new Final Fantasy game, and it's okay. Seems like more of the same, but for those of you guys who do like MMORPGs like me, you gotta check out EverQuest Next. My mind. Mike from Houston, I got your letter, man, and I'm glad that you're recovering, and I'm glad that I can be part of your recovery. I don't want to give away any of your personal details just to make sure that your life is safe and we're not talking about your personal stuff, but thanks for the card, bro. Appreciate it. Speaking of high school, my good friend Connor Jeffries, who's written several times this summer, wrote to say that he knew that I went to a high school program called Upper Bound. He's currently attending a POS private transition school because he couldn't focus on normal high school environment. It's really stupid, but there are only 40 students, and I managed to kiss enough ass so I can go back to regular high school for the last semester. Well, I got to tell you something, Connor. What it really comes down to is it doesn't matter how you get that education or how you get that work experience. I'm just glad you're doing work. And the person who sent me these Skylander Giants cards is a rape survivor, and I have some fairly general advice about that, and if it's okay, I'd like to talk about it. I saw Augustin Burroughs, who's a wonderful writer, speak in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and he said that when something terrible like that happens to you, it leaves this huge gaping crater in your timeline, and you have to wonder how you're supposed to get past that. But inexplicably, time goes on, and you have to wonder how you're supposed to recover, how you're supposed to get over it, how you're supposed to forget that there's that huge crater in your life. And the truth of the matter is, you don't. It's always there. It's always going to be there. Those bad things are always going to be part of who you are. But like Doctor Who said, life is a series of good things and bad things. And the bad things don't cancel out the good, and the good things don't cancel out the bad. There's a lot of good left in the world for you. Find it. Love it. And just like you said at the end of your letter, they may have taken a lot of things from you, but the one thing they did not take away from you is the ability to love. And you gotta love life. As shitty as it can be, you gotta love it. Speaking of surviving, by the way, I heard from Sam. Sam is a student at Columbine High School, and that should send chills down your spine. You seem like a good kid, and you've got a really great head on your shoulders. I'm glad that some of the things that I've said in my videos has gone straight to you, and I hope you make the best of that information and that advice. And I did want to thank you for this this artifact from such a history place. I promise you I'll keep it close, and I'll keep it in mind every time we talk about one of these tragedies in the future. Dave from New Zealand sent this awesome card, and in it he wrote a sentiment that I definitely can share. He says, I wanted to write to thank you for the inspiration you've given me since I discovered your videos. I'm a large guy myself, and my struggle with my weight has pretty much defined my entire life. Over the years, it's become ingrained in my psyche that because I was a fat, ugly bastard, I wasn't allowed to enjoy life. I had to punish myself for my failure. I felt too guilty to allow myself to enjoy anything. I felt totally unworthy of loving others and letting others love me. I've become a cold and emotionless zombie. Watching your videos and listening to you talk about life put a lot of things in perspective for me. For the first time in my life, because of the inspiration you've given me, I'm allowing myself to have hope. And that, Dave, is freaking awesome. And the truth of the matter is, anybody who's gotten historically fat, who's gotten really big, has gone through exactly what you're going through. And if you are one of those people right now, watching right now, thinking that because you're fat, thinking that because of society doesn't like the way you look, because you've screwed up in the past, and you think it's okay to keep screwing up, don't. Get better. Get stronger. You deserve love, and you gotta love yourself first. I heard from a YouTube user by the name of Cheezy Cam, that's with a Z, and in it he talks about his marijuana use. A lot of people presume that I'm a bit of a pothead, and I'm not. And I thought I'd like to talk about that this week, if it's all right by you. I have only used it twice in my life, and I didn't really care for it either time. The first time it didn't do much of anything for me, and the second time it was an edible, and I just didn't really like it. I don't really have anything against it, and I'm all for legalizing it. I just don't think I'll ever use it, whether it's legal or not. It's just not my kind of thing. Now, as far as I know, there's three types of users that I've known in my lifetime. There's the kind of people who use sporadically and occasionally just to relax, once or twice a week. And those people I have no problem with whatsoever, and I think it's great. I do know people that use on a daily basis, and their lives are actually made better because of it. Some people that have anxiety disorders, or PTSD, or stress disorders, or chronic pain, it works, and it works wonders for these guys. Their lives are better. They're able to work harder, they're able to do more, they're able to succeed more, and they're able to be happier. Thumbs up. Now, there is also the burnout, and the burnout is the kind of person whose life is greatly degraded by their daily use, and if you're one of those people, it's time to cut back. And I don't think you are, based on your letter, and I'm glad that you're not sitting at home playing video games like I am. I'm glad that you're cycling and getting out of the world and making good of your life. But if you are, if someone's watching that right now, if you're types 1 or 2, I don't have a problem. If you're a burnout, if you're stagnating, if you're working 20 hours a week, just enough to live with the folks and pay for your weed, it might be time to cut back just long enough to really work a little bit harder. But hey, it's your life. I'm also happy if you don't. Taylor wrote me to say that I've taught him a lot of traits, but mostly not how to be judgmental and accept everyone for their differences. Before I started watching your videos, I was judgmental about everything, whether it be a person or a situation. Now I see that everyone is equal and to accept everyone for who they are. Learning from you has changed my outlook on life in a major way, and I'd like to thank you. I'm so glad that information has sunk in. I often tell myself if I can get to just one person to teach them that nobody is better than them and they are better than nobody, that it's all been worth it. And it sounds like I've helped teach that to you. You just made my day. Oh, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be this week's Monday Mailbag. And it's the last Monday Mailbag for a little while. Hey, now, if you've already got a letter that's in the mail, I'm going to read it, and I probably will try to save it for our very first opportunity. If you would send me something particularly compelling, we'll probably talk about it in a rambling video. Feel free to continue to send me stuff. I'm still going to check the mailbox every week, and I may even surprise you and do one between now and the wedding, just depending on a lot of things and a lot of factors. But until then, wish me luck. Wish me luck on making sure that she doesn't back out just before the last minute, and wish me luck on not going completely fucking crazy between now and then. So I'm going to need a bit of luck. Love you guys.